Welcome to the deep dive. We get straight to the insights, cutting through the noise. Today, we're tackling Matthew chapter 7 from the NIV. That's the New International Version.
Right. A really well-known translation.
Exactly. And this chapter, it's just packed with teachings, wisdom on, well, life, how to live.
Yeah, it covers a lot of ground.
Our mission here is simple. Pull out the key nuggets for you. A shortcut to understanding this significant text. Okay, let's unpack this. It moves from, personal reflection to discerning truth, building a solid life, quite a journey in one chapter. It kicks off with something pretty challenging, doesn't it? This idea of judging others. That image is so stark. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye?
It's incredibly vivid imagery.
It really is. It feels less like just a rule and more like a deep psychological point. Why is it so hard to see our own faults?
Well, and the text immediately calls that hypocrisy, right?
Yeah.
Being a hypocrite. And that's crucial. It's not just about, being nice and not judging. It's about the self-deception that stops us seeing clearly. You can't really help someone else properly if you're blind to your own planks.
Okay, that makes sense. Self-awareness first.
Precisely. And then there's that interesting bit right after about not giving what is sacred to those who might trample them under their feet.
Right, so some discernment is needed too. You don't just cast pearls before swine, as the older translation goes.
Exactly. Discernment about who is ready or willing to receive something valuable.
Okay, so once we've hopefully taken a look in the mirror, the chapter shifts to something more encouraging. This ask, seek, knock idea.
Yes, a real message of hope and persistence.
Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. It feels very direct, very promising.
It is. And it connects it through that analogy about parents.
Oh, yeah.
If even flawed human parents give good gifts, how much more will a divine source give good things to those who ask? It frames it as a reliable principle.
Got it. So it's an invitation to actively seek wisdom or help with a promise attached. And then, bam, right after that, it hits you with what's probably the most famous line, the golden rule.
Yeah, absolutely central.
So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. And then it adds, for this sums up the law and the prophets. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. What does that mean, sums up the law and the prophets?
Well, the law and the prophets is basically shorthand for the whole body of Hebrew scriptures, the Old Testament's core teachings and ethical guidelines.
Ah, okay, the whole foundation.
Exactly. So saying the golden rule sums it up is huge. It's presenting this principle of reciprocal empathy as the absolute essence, the distillation of all that prior wisdom.
Wow. Simple, but profound. And incredibly practical, or at least the goal is practical application.
Deeply practical, yes, but also deeply challenging to live out consistently.
Right. Which kind of leads into the next part about choices and discernment again, doesn't it? The narrow and wide gates.
It does. This choice between the easy, broad road that many take, leading to destruction, and the harder, narrow road to life that fewer find.
It's about our life's direction, but it seems linked to discerning people, too. How do we navigate that?
Yeah, the text flows right into warning about true and false prophets. And the key is, you'll know them by their fruit.
By their fruit, like judging a tree by what it produces.
Precisely. It's saying, don't just listen to the words or look at the outward show. Look at the results. Look at the actual actions and their consequences in a person's life and influence. What do they produce?
Actions, not just claims.
Exactly.
And that applies to followers, too, not just leaders. The true and false disciples bit.
Yes, very much so. It says, not everyone saying, Lord, Lord, gets in, so to speak, but the ones who actually do the will of the Father. That line, I never knew you, away from me, you evildoers, is pretty chilling.
It is. It underscores that disconnect between saying and doing. Faith and action need to align.
Absolutely. Which brings us neatly to that final big parable.
The builders. The wise and foolish ones.
That's the one. Building on rock versus sand.
So the wise one hears the words and, crucially, puts them into practice. Builds on rock. The foolish one hears the same words but doesn't do them. Builds on sand.
And the critical point is the storm comes for both houses.
Ah, okay. It's not about avoiding difficulty.
No, life throws storms at everyone. The difference is the foundation. The house on the rock, built on practiced wisdom, stands firm. The one on sand, built on mere hearing, collapses.
So it all comes down to applying the teaching, integrating it. That's what creates resilience.
That's the core message.
Yeah.
Application is everything. It's why the crowds were amazed, remember? It says Jesus taught with authority, not like their usual teachers. It felt real, actionable.
Okay, so wrapping this up then. Matthew 7 seems like a real roadmap. Start with self-honesty, seek guidance persistently, treat others with empathy, be discerning about influences, and most importantly, build your life on acting out these principles.
That's a great summary. It really does boil down to that focus on consequence, doesn't it? What you
Yeah.
build your life on, the actions you take, that determines the outcome when things get tough.
So, a final thought for you listening. Take a moment and consider, what kind of fruit are your daily actions actually producing? And maybe more importantly, what kind of foundation are you really building for your life?